time for your dynamic warm-up. This block is going to be 5 minutes of work with 5 exercises. All you're going to need is a yoga mat for this one. Ready to get to work, D?
Let's get warmed up.
All right, we're going to start with 1 minute of a cobra swing. You're going to lay down flat on your mat. You're going to start with your feet about hip width apart, those toes anchored to the ground. As you can see, Dee is placing her hands on the small of her back, shoulders nice and tall. You're going to raise that chest off the ground, full extension with the arms to reach out in front of you, back to the small of your back. This is going to work your shoulders as well as your lower back and core. Options here, you can always reduce your range of motion. Next up, we've got 30 seconds per side of a T-spine rotation. Dee has her hands stacked underneath her shoulders, knees stacked underneath the hips. Placing one hand behind the ear, elbow nice and wide, we're going to rotate at the midsection, trying to make contact with that planted hand. You've got 30 seconds per side. An option here, you can reduce your range of motion. Next up, we're going to warm up those ankles and hamstrings, crossing our right foot over the left, pressing through the ball of the left foot to raise the glutes into the air, elongating that hamstring, bringing that knee back down to the ground. Option here, you can always reduce your range of motion. You've got 30 seconds per side. Next up, 30 seconds per side of an iso hold plank bird dog. For this, you're going to extend your right arm out, left leg back, drawing your belly button to spine, squeezing your glutes to keep that core engaged. You're going to hold that for 30 seconds per side. An option here, use your own personal range of motion. Last but not least, you have 1 minute of a bear plank alternating shoulder tap. We're going to press through the balls of our feet, raising our knees just off the ground enough, belly button to spine to engage the core. Nice, slow, and steady, bringing that hand to your opposite shoulder. Option here, you can always drop your knees down to the ground, but make sure to keep that belly button drawn to your spine. You've got 5 minutes of work. Let's get warmed up.
About to get started, I'm feeling the groove. Somebody let's party, get naughty, I do what I do. So baby shake it, I wanna take it, and I'm all over you. Drinking, smoking, everybody move. It's on, baby, go crazy, everybody hit the floor. We on an adventure, maybe we'll get so hazy till the morning shows the light. You know I hold it down. The music steady playing, listen to the sound. And I'ma drop a couple stacks, do it like that when I come around. So just raise your hands to the sky. You know I'm feeling so alive. And we got that money, got that money, got that. So just take your place, feel the vibe. You know I'm feeling so alive. And we got that money, got that money, got that. Yeah, we got that money, got that money. Yeah, we got that money, got that money. It's about to get started, I'm feeling the groove. Somebody let's party, get naughty, I do what I do. So baby shake it, I wanna take it, and I'm all over you. Drinking, smoking, everybody move. It's on, baby, go crazy, everybody hit the floor. We on an adventure, maybe we'll get so hazy till the morning shows the light. Now I can get enough, you know I hold it down. The music steady playing, listen to the sound. And I'ma drop a couple stacks, do it like that when I come around. So just raise your hands to the sky. You know I'm feeling so alive. And we got that money, got that money, got that. So just take your place, feel the vibe. You know we're feeling so alive. And we got that money, got that money, got that. Put your hands to the sky. Yeah, we got that money, got that money. Yeah, we got that money, got that money. Getting closer to your body, I wanna get the party started. And we're dancing till the morning comes. Yeah, tonight we're getting wasted. We'll engage in conversations, cause we only want to have some fun. You said to catch that rhythm, I wanna dance right with ya. Ooh mama, oh my, ooh mama, oh my. You start to drive me crazy. Just say you'll be my baby. Ooh mama, oh my, ooh mama, oh, oh, oh. Ooh mama, oh la 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 la. Ooh mama, oh my. Everybody wanna party, put your bottles where they should be, cause the party going on and on and on and on. You said to catch that rhythm, I wanna dance right with ya. Ooh mama, oh my, ooh mama, oh my. You start to drive me crazy. Just say you'll be my baby. Ooh mama, oh my, ooh mama, oh, oh, oh. Ooh mama, oh my. Ooh mama, oh la 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 la. Ooh mama, oh my. Ooh mama, oh, oh. Ooh mama, oh my. Ooh mama, oh la 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 la. Ooh mama, oh my.
Let's focus on your shoulders and your core for the next 8 minutes. We're going to have 4 different exercises that we're going to continue to repeat until time is called. Let's shoot for a minimum of 2 rounds. Now for this block, we are going to be kneeling, so make sure that you have a padded surface under your knees. Could be that towel or yoga mat like we've got, and you will need 2 objects that weigh roughly the same amount. We decided to grab our cans of beans out of the cupboard this morning, but if you've got something that weighs roughly 8 to 12 pounds, that would be great for this block. Let's get started with our first exercise. It's what's called a half get up. Now there are 4 different parts to this movement that you want to think about as you're working through it. Start by laying flat on the ground. You're going to slide your heel into your glute. Whatever hand has one object, that's the knee that's bent. Your opposite leg is out straight. Now think about a punch and crunch to get started. Stack that can of beans directly over your shoulder. Your opposite arm is out at a 45-degree angle, and as you watch John, he's going to punch towards the ceiling, landing on that elbow first, and then continuing all the way up to the palm of his hand, still that straight line down to that shoulder. Roll your way down nice and slow. So find your elbow first, and then roll 1 vertebrae at a time. Punch and crunch up to that palm, and then elbow, and roll back down. Your option, get rid of that can of beans and simply work through body weight only. You've got 12 on one side, 12 on the other. Your second exercise is called a half kneeling around the world. Grab both of those objects, 1 in each hand, then we're going to get into that half kneeling position. Front knee directly over top of that ankle, feet are still hip width apart, and then from here, you're going to draw a half circle with both of those arms, meeting those objects together at the top, and then returning back down to those hips. So full range of motion with those shoulders. Your option here, you reduce your range of motion if you need to, and you can always lighten up the objects that are in your hands. Feel free to do it body weight as well. 6 on one side, then switch those legs, 6 on the other. Your next exercise, back to that core work, we've got our bear plank to a kick through. So hover above the ground just about 1 to 2 inches, curling your toes under, again space underneath your knees, hips over knees, and now John, let's kick 1 leg through to the opposite side so we're crossing under that body, return back, reset, before you kick that opposite leg through. Your option here, you keep both hands planted on the ground and simply bring knee to the back of that wrist. We have 1 more exercise. Got to get back into that half kneeling position. This time we only need 1 can of beans. Single arm shoulder press to stand. So full body movement here. From here, press up, hold it there, keeping that arm nice and straight. Now drive through that front heel, stand up, and then from here, you're still keeping that straight line. Come back to that knee, then return back to your shoulder. So press, stand, keep it there, come back down to the ground, and then return back to your shoulder. Your option, you can grab a lighter object, or you can simply work through your shoulder presses. You've got 12 on one side, 12 on the other. 8 minutes of work. Let's get to it.
don't know. I could do anything, you don't know. I woke up feeling brand new. Nice to meet you. Don't tell me what I can't do, I'll get it done. Woke up feeling brand new. It's nice to meet you. I bet it's nice to meet me too. Took a while for me to realize I never put myself first. Look my reflection dead in the eyes. I said it's time to see your self-worth. You don't know. I could do anything. You don't know where I could go. You don't know. I could do anything. You don't know. I woke up feeling brand new. Nice to meet you. Don't tell me what I can't do, I'll get it done. Woke up feeling brand new. It's nice to meet you. I bet it's nice to meet me too. How come it took so long to see that if I want something different, it's up to me. Woke up feeling brand new. Nice to meet you. Don't tell me what I can't do, I'll get it done. Woke up feeling brand new. It's nice to meet you. I bet it's nice to meet me too.
This tornado is guaranteed to leave you breathless. We've got 5 exercises, 1 minute of each, for 3 total rounds. You'll have 1 minute of rest in between each round. Here's where it gets fun. In round number 1, your transition time between exercises is 30 seconds. In round 2, you'll have 45 seconds. In that final round, you're going to be a little bit more winded, so we'll give you a full minute between exercises. Ready to do it, Dee?
Let's see what you got.
Let's hit it. We got our first minute is going to be a scissor jump. So for this one, feet are going to be hip width apart. We're going to be shuffling forward. There we go. Really shuffling those feet, almost like we're trying to sprint, but just nice low to the ground here. An option is we can always just do a step back in place. Next up, we have 1 minute of a high knee raise, 3-step. So here's how it's going to work. High knee, 1, 2, 3, pause at the top. So you'll keep it up to hip width the entire way through, pumping those arms. An option here, you can slow things down or reduce that height of the knee. Next up, we're going to need a chair. We have 1 minute of a hop over using the chair. Hands are going to be securely planted on the sides of the seat. We're going to explode, getting those feet up in the air, hopping from side to side. An option is you can always step over and back. Next up, we're going to flip it around. 1 minute of a bench chair dip. We're going to make sure our hands are secure behind us, stacked underneath the shoulders, feet out. We're going to make that right angle from hip down to knee, down to the heel. We're going to bring the elbow to a 90-degree bend, pressing through the triceps back to our starting position. Option here, you can always reduce your range of motion. Last but not least, we can go ahead and get rid of that chair. We're going to drop down into a high plank for a single leg raise to knee tuck. So starting in our high plank, hands stacked underneath the shoulder, feet hip width apart, belly button to spine, we're going to raise that heel off the ground nice and tall, swing that knee towards the chest, then alternate sides. An option here, that other knee can drop down to the ground and you'll switch things up. 5 exercises, 1 minute of each, 3 rounds. Get ready to do some work.
I can't resist, I'm powerless, like a fly to light. From out the mist, I see a shine, you're the one for me. And I've been known to give in too easily before, but I know I feel something I've never felt before. Then you told me stay, don't worry, be strong, come along, be with me. It's not too late to change, don't worry, be strong, come along, be with me. I'm feeling like a flame, and I wanna be the flame in your fire. I'm feeling like a flame, and I wanna be the flame in your fire. Let's burn it down. Let's burn it down. Let's burn it down. Your touch and kiss, my heart's first wish is coming true. I've begun to grow, and now I know you're the one for me. And I've been known to give in too easily before, but I know I feel something I've never felt before. Then you told me stay, don't worry, be strong, come along, be with me. It's not too late to change, don't worry, be strong, come along, be with me. I'm feeling like a flame, and I wanna be the flame in your fire. I'm feeling like a flame, and I wanna be the flame in your fire. I'm feeling up your mind, what you're searching for. Sticky claim, is it fame? Do you see your name in lights? Make up your mind, what you're searching for. Is it money? Is it something like freedom? Nothing against myself, but I can really see myself. Come around, come around, come around. Now I'm holding it down. I thought I was quiet, but then you brought that loud. It's instant that I mentioned. Did you know that? In a minute, I felt different. No take backs, take back. Everyone's got a little bit of magic. Everyone's got a little trick up their sleeve. Yeah, everyone's got some kind of abracadabra. So cast your spell and make them believe. Ooh, you got some kind of magic, yeah. Yeah, you got some kind of magic. Oh, you got some kind of magic, baby. Yeah, you got some kind of magic. Put that pride on a shelf. Yeah. Now you can really see yourself. Clearing out, clearing out, clearing out while you hearing me now. You ain't gotta keep quiet about what you got now. Never instant, not to mention, cause you know that. But each minute feels different, no take back. Everyone's got a little bit of magic. Everyone's got a little trick up their sleeve. Yeah, everyone's got some kind of abracadabra. So cast your spell and make them believe. You got some kind of magic. Baby, you know you got some kind of magic. You got some kind of magic. You got it, you got it, you got it.
All right, we've reached the cool down. For this one, you're gonna use a towel. Dee, you already have
got
yours.
it.
Awesome. We've got 5 exercises here. We're gonna start with 20 seconds of an overhead reach. As you can see, Dee is holding on to the widest part of her towel. The wider your towel is, the deeper these stretches are gonna be. Bringing the arms overhead, nice deep breath, shoulders nice and tall, chest tall, really working those shoulders. You got a 20-second hold here, bring it down to reset. Next up, 20 seconds per side of a side bend. In that same overhead position, nice gentle lean to our side. You're gonna feel it more in your lats and your obliques. 20 seconds to one side, 20 seconds to the other. Now, we're gonna bring that towel behind us for a reverse shoulder stretch. Palms are facing back, shoulders nice and tall. Raising our arms behind us, you're gonna feel that stretch in your shoulders as well as your chest on this one. 20-second hold. Next up, we have our tricep stretch. Now, this one happens to be a bit more of a combination stretch. You'll feel it in the shoulders as well as the triceps. We have one arm overhead. Our other arm is at the small of the back. Thumbs facing each other here. A great challenge. If you have good range of motion, you can bring your hands a little bit closer together. If not, you can bring them a little bit wider. You've got 20 seconds per side here. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and put the towel down. 20 seconds per side of a wrist and forearm stretch. Starting with our fingertips down, Dee's gonna gently draw those fingers towards her for 10 seconds. Then bring those fingers up towards the air. Same, pulling those fingers towards you. You've got 10 seconds in each position, then you'll switch sides. You earn this cool down. Enjoy it.
Don't wanna be stuck in the middle, wanna have it all. I'm not a high hope, I'm not an almost, I'm better with my weakness showing. Exposed, still growing. If I got one shot in life, keep my eyes wide, cause I'm living real fast in double time. There ain't no box that you could label with my name. Ain't no way you could fit me in a frame, cause I wanna make waves. No time to play safe, I wanna make change. No time to be comfortable, cause I wanna make waves. No time to play safe, yeah, I wanna make change. I don't wanna be comfortable. never gonna be an almost. Just because I'm too scared to fall, I push it back a little. When life's pinned me to the wall, don't wanna play it back in slow-mo.